Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Like and subscribe.
Welcome to the Sit, Walk, Work podcast, a show about paying attention. My name is Dominic and I'm your host, and today is a guided meditation. And what you can expect is that the practice will open up with a brief recap, followed by the actual practice itself. If you find today's episode valuable, please share with your friends and family, and feel free to leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts. The show will begin after the following chimes. Really had two major components to it. The first was just grounding into our senses, the natural senses that are with us all the time, right? Any one of those senses can be used as an anchor. Tonight, I gave us sound, touch, and smell, I believe, were the three I used. So just as a way to pull you into the present moment. So it's a great, easy way to practice when you're not formally practicing. Anytime you enter a new space or have a moment of transition, you can kind of tap into that. And then we moved from that into some focused or practice focused around the body scan. So we moved to the breath and felt the breath moving in the body, and then spent a good amount of practice just scanning through the body, noticing tension, noticing whatever was there today with us, from the crown of the head all the way down to the toes. And then after we finished the body scan, I asked you to consider kind of what emotions were arising in conjunction with what you're feeling in the body. We tend to have mixed emotions about our bodies for a million reasons. And so stuff comes up sometimes. And so that was the opportunity to kind of notice what was there. And then I gave you probably the hardest challenge all night to thank and appreciate this body of ours. Good, bad, or indifferent, it's what we got, and it's moving us through the world. And so I offered you the space and place to kind of acknowledge that to the degree that you could. Practice is exactly that. It is the opportunity to put yourself in a position to show up and allow your attention to be held very gently, very softly, very curiously. Those are kind of the attitudes that I strongly encourage us to take as we do this work. It is more rewarding when you can be a little kind and a little patient to yourself as you're practicing. So do keep that in mind on your journey today. First things first is you need to be settled in, however you're going to be settled in for practice. So whether that is seated or lying down, I want you to have a posture that enables you to breathe well. Like that is the best thing that I can give you. A piece of advice I can give you is to be able to take a full breath in. And let your hands find a comfortable place to rest by your side, in your lap, on your desk. Just some place where they're not going to be a huge distraction for you today. And then if you would like to close your eyes to take practice, you most certainly can, or you can just keep the eyes slightly open, looking out in front of you. But yeah, try to rest your visual gaze for a little bit. And those are kind of the posture cues to begin to settle in. We're going to start off practice today by grounding to the senses, just letting ourselves kind of get here in the present moment by being acutely aware of our natural senses. And the first one I'll kind of point your attention to is the sounds that you hear around you right now. The obvious sound is of my voice giving you that cue, but listen further and beyond that to the sounds in the space in the room that you're in. And beyond that to the space outside of the room that you're in. In this way, we're simply letting our attention stay open and receive the sounds that enter the space. And then as they start to move in, notice the subtleties about them, the way they might change, the way they might remain the same, the pace of them, how loud they are. You can almost feel the distance of the sound from where you are. It's nice to observe here that sounds just find their way to you. And a lot of this practice is very similar, that you don't have to do anything other than to notice what's here in the moment. Letting the attention begin to notice any smells that might be present in your space, from a candle to a perfume to an incense or just a general natural smell that is in the space that you reside in this moment. These inquiries that we look at in practice, they don't necessarily have right or wrong answers. So if you find yourself needing to impart that on the practice, just know there's not. Sometimes there's simply not an answer, or what you're observing just isn't there. And we notice that as well. Notice and ground yourself in this moment to the sense of touch that is present. You might find that in the texture of clothing against your skin, your hands resting in your lap or by your side, the points where you are in contact with the world around you. By observing the senses in the most tactile way, you ground yourself in the present. And it kind of takes us from this place of creating the moment by thinking and feeling the moment by paying attention to it unfolding. Anytime throughout practice, if you want to ground back in the moment, know that you can always come back to this initial exercise. As we begin to shift our attention into feeling the natural rhythm of our breathing, feeling and observing the chest and belly gently rising and falling as you breathe. Contrasting this moving element of breath with the stillness of your posture, the evidence that even in a moment where you're not physically moving, there is a world of changing sensations that are moving through you, like the breath, like the senses, and even like your thoughts. Each time the mind wanders, it's always an opportunity for us to guide our attention back to what we were focusing on. In this case, the breath, doing so without judgment and remaining curious to that natural flow of change that's happening. Remaining curious and present allows us to start to see things as they are, not necessarily as the mind sometimes frames them to be. As we begin to move into the body scan, know that we want our attention to stay with what's present in the body, just the same way we received all of the sensation information from earlier. We will pay attention to our body with that same attitude. So there's no reason to allow the mind to get lost in thought about what's happening. Rather, just notice what's there. Letting your attention begin to move from the crown of your head down through the forehead and the face, noticing any warmth, coolness, tingling, or tension in the face. Feeling the weight of the eyes behind your eyelids, the breath at the entry point of the nose or the mouth, the moisture of the lips, pressure in the jaw if you're holding, and allowing yourself to soften if you are. allowing your attention to move from the face down through the neck into the shoulders and down into the arms, all the way to the fingertips. Feel the weight of the arms, heaviness or lightness that might be present. Notice how the hands are naturally resting, and if they are holding tension, can you soften them? The more we can stay in the body with the breath, the more we can give the nervous system a chance to soften, to down regulate. And to let your attention move to your torso, the front and back part of your body, your chest, your belly, your upper back, your lower back. Scanning through the body, we're really just widening the space of sensation. We started off in at the crown of the head and the face, where it was a small surface area. And now your attention is expanding all the way down to the belly button. Here you might feel your breath come alive as it moves at its pace and rhythm. Noticing any tension and allowing that attention or any tension and allowing the tension to soften with each exhale. Continuing the scan of the body, moving into the hips, pelvis, the legs, moving down from your thighs, your knees into your calves and shins, all the way to your ankles, feet, and toes. Noticing how in this moment, the parts of your body that are usually holding you are now being held and supported. So feel their weight. Having expanded this area of attention to the entire body. If there's sensations that are uncomfortable, know that we can meet those with a soft breath and a bit of compassion. With a bit of understanding that that too shall change. close attention to the way the mind will drift away from the body. And we have to bring that attention ever so slightly back. And what are you feeling right now, both emotionally and physically in the body? Making note to observe where those emotions might live. And as you're resting here with the body and whatever feeling is arising, take a moment to reflect on the ways that the body supports you by breathing, by your beating heart, by the digestion of food and moving you through the world. Offer a silent thank you to your body for all that it does and the way that it uniquely cares for you. Offering a bit of loving kindness with the following phrases: May my body be healthy. May my body be safe. May my body feel respected. May my body be healthy. May my body be safe. May my body feel respected. As you're offering this bit of gratitude and appreciation for the body, notice if you find resistance present to this idea arising. Should that be true for you, be compassionate to understanding that you're building a friendly relationship with yourself in this way. And that can take time, and that's okay. You're free to stay here in the body, moving and scanning and paying attention to all of it, the changing nature, what it presents. Or if it feels more comfortable for you to ground back into your senses, maybe coming back to paying attention to what you hear or paying close attention to your breath. Slowly begin to let the breath deepen. Gently wiggle the fingers and toes. Start to feel the movement of your body get a little bigger, a little more sensations start to come in. If you closed your eyes, you can slowly begin to open them and let the light back in. Acknowledging yourself for making the time to practice, for prioritizing the time to slow down and pay attention.
That's the beauty of it.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. I invite you to check out my Substack, where we are building a community of like-minded individuals to discuss all topics related to the idea of paying attention. I hope to see you there. But until then, with metta may you be well.
Like and subscribe.